All right, whenever you're ready, let me know.
I'm good whenever you are, because you have to start the intro.
Right. Oh God, it's been so long. Hello, my name is Kelsey, and me, like anyone else with eyes, loves Danny DeVito. Welcome back to the podcast. Can you take my shift? It's time to gather around the water cooler, everyone, for this week's infectious gossip.
Oh, infectious? Is that a little too soon, Kelsey, or is that what you're saying it?
That's why I'm saying it. Let's address the elephant in the room.
The
Amy and
elephant
I,
being in two separate rooms because we're
in
recording from two separate
yeah,
locations?
so we were recording from two separate locations because I got COVID after a year of being safe as I possibly could, not seeing anyone. I haven't seen my family in 9 months. I have not traveled outside my health district. I go to work, I go to the grocery store, I go to the liquor store, and then I go home and I caught COVID. So I was isolating in my bedroom with Trevor for 2 weeks because unfortunately Trevor also got COVID. But thankfully enough, I was started isolating early enough that you did not get COVID.
Thankfully, no. But the reason we have to record separately is because your quarantine isolation period was up and you were feeling fine, but because
Mm-hmm.
the timelines of everything and to be as safe as we possibly can be, I'm not free from my isolation till Wednesday, which would cut it a little bit close for the podcast.
Yeah, so we're trying something new. We've recorded through Discord before. Amy's coming live from her bedroom, her own bedroom.
My bedroom, and
You
you're
can
coming live from our office that we just have not set up yet.
Yeah, I'm coming live from the shared office. You can see I have decorated it so much. I've got our plaque resting on a cart, and that is the extent. Well, I did put like a little office, like the office sign from the TV show The Office.
Yes,
I
because
bought one of those for the door.
and that's totally fine. We can have one of those. That's okay. So
Yeah.
no, it's been a interesting 2 weeks over here. Because I was just saying
Oh
earlier,
yeah.
we've been in our new place for a month, and half of that has been spent inside of it, but not with each
Yeah.
other. Like we've had to
No.
be separated. But like thankfully, no symptoms on my end, no symptoms on our other roommate's end. So there is an end in sight.
Yeah, no, my COVID experience, I guess I could get into this. This is not what this episode's about, but like, might as well talk about it because people are still not taking this seriously. And to all the people protesting, fuck you. Just like, COVID fucking sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a pandemic. People are dying. I don't care that you want to go to see a movie. Like, I don't care that you want to eat in a restaurant. People are dying. I am in pretty good shape. Like, before I was diagnosed, I was playing tennis, and my friend's like, "Oh, have you been working out?" And I was like, "No, I'm just like in pretty good shape. I mean, I wish I'd been working out more, but obviously been busy with moving and school. And now I can barely walk up the stairs without getting winded. Like I feel like I've gone for like wind sprints when I'm just because I lovingly live on the third floor, as we talked about, and I get up to the third floor and I'm just huffing and puffing and I'm so exhausted and it just really sucks. And then I the worst side effect for me was headaches. Like I had a migraine for 2 weeks. But I had like it was weird because COVID too, I had different symptoms on different days. So it started with a headache. Then I slept for 19 hours, which was crazy because I don't sleep. Well, like I mean, I do sleep, but I'm up like every morning at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a fire sign. I rise with the sun. And I just like the first before I tested positive, I was like, I'm not feeling great. I need to go home from work. Came home from work, slept for 19 hours. I was scared I was just gonna die. And then I had a bunch of other symptoms, and then my partner, of course, he got COVID, and today it's official. He cannot smell or taste anything.
Really?
Yeah. So thankfully, I didn't get that. Because every morning I'd wake up and have an Oreo for breakfast, and I'd be like, all right, still got taste. I still can smell it. And today he's like, I can't. Like yesterday, he was like, I can't smell like things. And I was like, oh, it's because you're stuffed up. Because he's way more stuffed up. And today, like we went, because I was free yesterday and he was free today. So we went to Starbucks today, and he was like, I'm just drinking a warm liquid. Because like he got like a full like chocolate, like double chocolate mocha, and he's like, I can't taste this.
Oh no.
So I like, if I want to get all like holistic, my coworker who had COVID a couple months ago, she told me ginger, like just eat a bunch of ginger. So I drank like 2 giant bottles of kombucha, and I can smell and taste. So I think GT Dave was looking out for me.
Hopefully he was.
Yeah. So, but it was sucked. I'm released now. I didn't give it to you, thankfully. We had a lot of lovely people help us out and bring us groceries, bring us food. I spent a lot of time with my boyfriend in our bedroom, and surprisingly, we didn't fight at all.
Good.
Yeah, so I mean, his grandmother said, if you two can get through this, it's gonna last forever. So I was like, all right.
Well, nothing brings people either closer or further apart than having to spend 2 weeks together in a bedroom.
Yeah, in a bedroom. Yeah. So, but it was thankful. Like we had like an ensuite bathroom, and we had a patio, so we were out on the patio all the time. And of course, it was gorgeous weather when I couldn't leave. Although we had our first, even when I'm not working, I still encountered a wild Karen.
Oh yeah, so like what we would do is, because like you had your balcony, and then I'd go sit out on the patio when the weather was super nice, and like that's how we could talk. Like, because like, you know, phones or whatever, and like our Wi-Fi isn't like super great, so it would just be easier to go outside and talk. And a lady came out onto her patio and was like, she's like, oh, I've been hearing voices for like a couple days, and I've been like wondering what's going on. And I think she was like, is there any other way you guys could like talk or like keep it down?
She was like, can you go downstairs?
Yeah.
Like yeah, don't pretend she was nice, Amy. She was.
I don't remember. You heard it better than me. Yeah. I apologize.
Yeah, she was like, can you go downstairs? And I was like, no, I have COVID.
And she was like, oh, and it's like, yeah. So
yeah, so this is a short-term thing, because I've been hearing lots of talking the past couple days.
Yeah, so
it was also okay. Like the part that annoyed me was, I get it if it was like 9 a.m. in the morning or like 11 o'clock at night. It was 2 p.m.
Not even. Yeah. It was noon, and there was, because our place backs off into like an alley. There's constant construction. There's always trucks. There's always noise.
Yeah, we hear a siren like at least once an hour. Like we're near downtown. It's loud. Like quiet time is between 10 p.m. and 10 a.m. So it's like, where do you get off? If you want absolute silence, why are you living in downtown Vancouver? Go live in the countryside.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as that goes, that was all we had to deal with.
Yeah.
So.
But now we are free and back. Oh yeah, I am. So I am at Amy's beck and call for the next couple of days, because she was at mine.
Yes, I became Amy's delivery service, but that's okay.
Yeah. But it's okay. We've got exciting things coming up. Guess what's coming up on April 30th? The one, the only, Tax Day. Taxes are due.
Everyone's favorite holiday.
Absolutely. Yeah. What did you get me for Tax Day, Amy?
TBD. I can't leave the house, so I haven't been able to show.
True. It's okay. But yes, I hate taxes. You hate taxes. We all hate taxes. We are all taxpayers, though, and we have to pay our taxes. I'm looking at you, billionaires. Pay your taxes. Now, I've had to pay taxes in 2 countries. Because since Amy and I both worked in the U.S., we had to pay U.S. taxes and Canadian taxes, and we had to file both. And they are similar but different. I know in the U.S. you get a W-2, and then in Canada you get a T-4.
Yes. And from what I remember, I think American taxes were a little less complicated than Canadian taxes. At
So,
least from what, like, now what people have told
yeah.
me, it's like, oh, like, you did the hardest thing. Like, American taxes are apparently, like, a lot simpler than Canadian
Yeah.
ones.
No, I remember because my U.S. taxes were frustrating because I was trying to do them from Canada, and we'll get into TurboTax a little bit later and all the shit that happens with TurboTax.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to charge you because you live in Canada, but you're trying to do American taxes. They want to charge you all these like surprise fees, and my biggest part was trying to figure out how to not get charged those fees because you don't even have to pay those fees half the time. But all these tax, like I did my first time through TurboTax, and then they tried to charge me a bunch of hidden fees. So then the next year I did it through H&R Block, and I didn't have to pay those, and I didn't ask me to pay those fees. But I don't know, I found them frustrating. I don't do my Canadian taxes myself. I do my taxes. But my dad, he has his own business, so he just offers to do everyone's taxes because he buys like the tax software for his business, which includes up to 4 people. So he's like, I'll just do your taxes since I'm already paying for it. Which is very nice, and thank you, Dad. Because I don't like to do taxes. Nobody does, and I think the fact that we have to do taxes is really stupid. I know other countries do not.
I think the thing that frustrates me about taxes is the fact where it's like if it's on me, why do you make it so difficult? There's so many things and they're like, you're the one who needs to double check your data. But there has been times where like the data is not my fault that it's wrong. Like I ended up having an extra T4 this year that had $4 on it because they fucked up. So then I had to file a T4 for $4.
Yeah.
And I was like, this makes no, like, what, how do you mess up $4?
No. It's the government, you know. I'm rewatching Parks and Rec, and as like an adult, I'm starting to like agree more and more with Ron Swanson.
You're gonna bury your gold in multiple
Yeah.
places.
Absolutely, yeah. We do have a friend of ours whose uncle has buried gold somewhere on his farm, and we keep saying that like we're just gonna, when we can travel again, we'll just go home with him, be like, hi, nice to meet you. Just ignore this metal detector and shovel. Just
we're gonna go explore your property.
Yeah.
Boop boop. go hunting.
Exactly. That we gotta fund the podcast somehow.
Yeah.
It's fine. He doesn't remember where he buried it, so it's free game at this point.
That is true. No, and I know, at least when it came to like American taxes, because I think you had to do this too, because we spent technically for tax season we spent half a year in this, like a year in the States, and then we had to file our taxes when we came home. I remember one of our friends, because she went to like a tax firm to get her taxes like filed quote unquote properly. They wanted to charge her 900 Canadian dollars to file American taxes when her tax return was going to be, I think she said like 300 US.
Mm-hmm.
So it was going to cost her, if you like converted everything, it was going to cost her, and like she wasn't even going to get a tax return, it was going to cost her over $500 to file her US taxes.
We were making $10 an hour.
Yeah.
Like where do you get off on that?
No. And so because we could file technically like in the States, and then when we came home, for legal reasons this may have to be a joke, when I came home I filed them still as I was living in the States. May or may not be not proper. I'll find that out if I ever have to go work in the States again. That is a current possibility that I'm looking into. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Exactly. If Trump doesn't have to pay taxes, why should you?
Exactly. And like it's not my fault that it got messed up, and they didn't really tell me how to do it. Mm-hmm. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I think the worst part for me in tax season was before. Now, like with you have the CRA, you can get all of your T4s online. But before, trying to hunt down T4s from old jobs, and if you were like me, who I like in the last, how old am I now? God, I don't know. I'm getting really old.
You're 25.
Yeah, in the last 8 years, I've moved 10 times. So like T4s I'd have to try and track them down from old places I lived. I'd have to go to business to the places I used to work because I also have worked a lot of jobs in the last 10 years. And because if the easiest was if I could get them just sent to my parents' house because my parents have lived in the same house since I was 1 year old.
Yep.
So anytime I'm like not sure if I'm going to be living in the same place for like more than 6 months, I'll like put my parents' address still down and just get things sent there.
Yeah.
But I remember when I worked at a big box store, and I only worked there for 2.5 months because I think I've talked about it before, I was so depressed. I ended up just like walking in one day and quitting. And trying to get my T4 from them was terrible. So I went into, because they had my old address when I was living at the dorms, but the dorms closed down.
Ooh.
Yeah, so then I went into the big box store, and then I had to talk to 5 different people, and each one of them did not know anything. And they have such a high turnover. Of course, they didn't remember me. I don't even think they knew who I was when I worked there.
Jeez.
Like, those big box stores, I swear, if you can like steal a vest, steal a t-shirt, you can just get away with anything.
Oh, absolutely. They have
They don't.
They got a lot of employees. They got a lot of people they have to worry about. Yeah.
Exactly. So they were really hard. And then another time it was like pulling teeth to get my T4 was when I worked at a Mexican restaurant, and I called. The manager / owner was never there when I called, and I would like leave a message with the other employees. She never called me back. And I was living in Vancouver, and this restaurant was in Victoria. So then I messaged a coworker I used to work with who still worked there, and I was like, hey, can you pass this off to her? Like, I need my T4. I've been like calling and she's not responding. And she's like, oh yeah, girl, I got you. And then this girl just stopped answering. So finally I find time to come over to the island because I was like, I gotta do my taxes. And my dad was like, come over, we'll do your taxes. So I like drive there, and she was working. And I finally get it. She's like, oh, you could have got this online. And I was like, no, I couldn't access it online because I hadn't set it up. You had to set up your account.
Gotcha.
And I hadn't set it up in time. So I was like, no, I don't have this online. I need the paper version. And then she's like, oh, and I was like, why didn't you send them out? You're legally supposed to send them out to like the last address that I lived at, which would have been my parents' house. And she's like, oh, well, like people come and go here. I don't bother mailing them. And I was like, I don't
think that's
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's like part of your responsibilities. To
yeah.
mail those things out.
Like, I don't think that's legal. Just like, yeah, people come and go so much. I just don't bother mailing them. So like, do you just get grifters working here?
Oh my god, people are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So that was the worst. And then last year was a shit show because I had 6 T4s.
You sure did. You sure did have 6 T4s.
Yeah, I had to file taxes for 6 jobs.
And did you still owe?
I did. I owed a ton.
Yeah.
No, because last year I kept like bouncing from job to job. Because oh god, where did I work? Because last tax season I started the year at the coffee shop, and I was working IT. Then I went to the restaurant. Then I went to the boat rental place.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to the salon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked IT again for a clothing company.
Yeah.
So it's 6 jobs. And the worst part was when I was working at the salon part-time, I was like, okay, like the pay is fine because they weren't taking any taxes out. Yeah. So the salon lovingly fucked me over because I go around taxes and I was like, why do I owe so much? Because when I was putting in all my T4s, I was like getting a return. The salon was like the last one I put in. And suddenly I owe like $700. I was like, what is going on? And my dad's like, move over, let me see. Thinking like I put something in wrong.
Yeah.
He does it like 3 times. He's like, Kelsey, like why do you owe? And then he's like looking over my T4s and he's like, your work didn't take a single tax out. And I was like, but aren't they supposed to? He's like, yeah. So now you have to pay it all.
Yeah, I got screwed over because of that too, because I had to do two T4s last year because I worked at the coffee shop and then I worked retail a little bit for school. And at the time, I was like, wow, my pay is really good. And it never registered in my brain. And I think it's happening to me again. Because, like, right now I'm working two jobs. And we were having this discussion earlier because I, like, got my pay stub from my, like, big girl job. And I was like, that pay seems a little high. Like, it seemed a little high. Especially because I'm working, like, part-time and I'm getting paid less than I am at the coffee shop. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. And it literally didn't click to me till the other day where I'm like, I don't think they're taking taxes.
Oh no.
But I'm like, it's contract work, so like
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
they don't like to.
they don't like to, and so unless I'm not contract with them anymore, like fingers crossed, maybe an actual part-time position. I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm like, it's 3 months. I can just save money for that.
Mhm.
But it's really frustrating. So I'm like, why don't you just take it off? But I'm like, are these businesses just like trying to screw me over at the end of the day?
I don't know. It must be more work for them.
It may be,
Yeah.
because then I guess. Actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about taxes. Like when I do my taxes, I use this like free software called Simple Tax that I think was just bought out by like a bigger tax company this past year. And they just like they literally like log into your you can log into your CRA account through the tax program and everything will just like filter through and they'll explain everything as it goes along because it was made by a bunch of like young is it accountants who do taxes?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know. No one asks what you do when you're an accountant.
Exactly. So it was made by a bunch of like really young accountants who were like, yeah, especially like when you're a student, paying to get your taxes done can be expensive. And then when you end up owing, right? Like what student, if you end up owing, like I ended up owing $900 last year. And that was after like my student loans and everything. And I was like, what student can afford that? I could barely afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So this program is like free or you can just like pay what you want. So when I was doing it like this year, I think I paid them like $15 because I didn't owe anything, and I was like, you know what, like it's a super helpful software. It helps like break down taxes and make things make sense. So I was like, okay, that was very helpful. But also they don't teach you this in maybe this is a new thing, but I didn't know this in like my first year of university. The like tax form you need from your university. Was this a thing I just didn't know about?
Like to get the tax deductions?
Yeah, like the TF
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, you need a form from your university to get because I knew about that.
I didn't know. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry.
I had no idea. No one told me. So the first year I filed taxes, I missed out on that. So I probably fucked myself over going forward in life.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did. That's something I didn't know that you did not know. But like I only know about it because when I first went to university when I was like 18 years old, my dad was like, make sure you get this form because we got to write off your schooling. And I was like, okay.
Oh, so see, I think the first year because I had like some money from my parents, which was fantastic, and I feel very lucky I had that. You know what? My dad asked me for it because he needed it. I didn't need it. It was only the next year because I didn't have. Okay. Nonetheless, I still didn't know about it.
Okay.
And I was upset.
Yeah. No, I thankfully, because we had served this year, so I was like, this is the first year where, like before the start of COVID, I was like, I'm gonna do it. This is the first year I will only have one T4. I have a full-time job. Like, this is great. And then, of course,
Little did Kelsey know she would not have one T4. She would
No.
have, what do you have, 4? 3?
I have 3.
Okay.
Well, I have 3 and then the school form.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had CERB and then I got laid off. So then I had EI and then I had my job and then I went back to school. So because CERB, they didn't take off the taxes. So when you applied for CERB, you had to remember that, yes, you were getting $2,000, but $300 of worth of that, you were going to have to give that back.
Yeah.
So a lot of people's jobs were asking if you wanted to take off extra taxes. And so I agreed. I was like, yeah, if you could take off some extra taxes, that'd be great. So I didn't have to pay a chunk again come tax season. And so I sent all my taxes up to my dad because he was like, yeah, I'll do it again. And I ended up getting like $200 back. And I was really happy. And it was mainly because of school. So I was at work and my boss was like, hey, have you done taxes? And I was like, yeah, I have. And she's like, how much are you owing? And I was like, oh, I actually don't owe anything this year. I'm getting $200 back. And she's like, what? Like, I owe this much money. And what did you do for tax deductions? And I was like, I went to school.
It's not really a tax deduction. I
No.
still have to pay it back.
Yeah, I paid like $4,000 for school. So
I paid $4,000 for school, and all I have to show for it is a piece of paper and a tax deduction.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not even this piece of paper.
It's not.
No, this is a very sweet Christmas present from my boyfriend.
You can see if we end up, because we're recording this, if we end up putting this video up, you can see my piece of paper. I'm pointing to it right now. It's sitting by a bunch of Disney stuff on me.
Should I do a close up of
yes.
This is the best certification I have ever received.
Oh, there we go. For audio listeners, Kelsey is showing her Best New Podcast Award that was given to us as the Best New Podcast of 2020.
Yeah,
it's very official.
Yeah, it's very official. It's from the It's from the official podcast award committee, where Trevor is the president, vice president, CO, CFO,
everything.
Everything. So that was a very sweet Christmas present.
Very sweet.
And hopefully, when this office, when we can all leave the house, then we can start decorating the office.
Yes. No. We'll get there when we get there.
Yes. But back to taxes. Mm-hmm. So she was asking me. She's like, well, what can you claim? And because Trevor works from home, and she's like, so what does he claim? And I was like, what do you mean he claims? Because since you worked from home, you could claim some things.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are. And so I decided to look that up, and it's interesting what can claim. So if you meet the eligibility criteria, you can claim a portion of certain expenses related to the use of a workspace in your home. Commission employees who sell goods or negotiate contracts can claim some expenses that salaried employees cannot. So can be claimed by salaried and commission employees: electricity, heat, water, utilities portion, home internet access fees, maintenance and minor repair costs, rent paid for a house or apartment where you live, and cannot be claimed mortgage interest, principal mortgage payments, home internet connection fees, furniture, capital expenses, replacing windows, flooring, furnace, etc., and wall decorations. Now, I disagree with the wall decorations. I think if I want a giant poster of like Vin Diesel on my wall to help me get through the workday, or one of those like hang in, it's Monday, like
the posters, cat on the
yeah, I think I should be able to write that off.
I mean, that's fair. I'm kind of confused as to why you can't write off internet, but you could write off rent, like that.
Yeah. Well, you can write off home internet access fees, but you can't write off home internet connection fees. So I think if someone comes in to connect, I think that means
what is that difference? Kelsey, can you explain to me that, okay, so I can write off when they come to install my internet, but I can't write off when I use my internet, but my internet will already have been installed because it is 2020, and who doesn't have internet installed in their house?
I mean, we're still waiting for our good internet to be installed.
Okay, but we have internet. We're just getting this super fancy one installed.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, and then it talks about office supplies and phone expenses. Um, but like it says, but literally, okay, so the list of office supplies allowed is mainly no, no, no. Like it lists everything. Blue light glasses, no. Briefcase, no. Calculator, no. Chair, no. Charging or connecting cables, no. Coffee supplies, no. Computer monitor, no. Mouse, no. Computer, no.
Okay, so what can I claim?
Envelopes,
Yes.
folders.
To send all my letters to my business compatriots and all
Yeah.
of my suitors.
Don't worry, if you need a headset or headphones to do your meetings, can't claim that, but you can claim a highlighter.
Can I claim pens and pencils or just highlighters?
Just highlighters. You can also claim ink cartridges, but no houseplants.
Okay, well at least you can. Ink cartridges are expensive, so that is fine.
Yeah. You can claim pens and pencils, but not a paper shredder. You can claim you can claim a notebook, but not a microphone. You can claim printer paper. No scanner, no software, no speakers. Specialty paper, if you need graph paper, you can claim that.
Ooh, nice.
Sticky notes. Amy has a lot of sticky notes, so you better get claiming those.
So many.
Yeah. Can't claim any USBs, or voice assistant, or webcam. So basically anything expensive you can't claim.
Okay, so you can't claim it on your taxes, but I guess technically, would that be different from a business write-off?
Let me see what it is.
But then I guess like business write-offs are only if you own your own business.
It says what can be claimed: an item that is used up while directly performing your job. And then how much to claim. You can claim only the expense or portion of the expense you used for work. So for example, if a pen costs $5 and you use the pen half the time to write briefs and then the other half the time to write fan letters to Chris Evans' ass, I would say you could claim $250.
Is there gonna be somebody policing me? Like, do I have to have two separate pens, or I need to have one for business so I can claim it the whole time, and then another pen to use at home, and I can't get them confused? I have to label them specifically.
Exactly.
So I know which one is for work and which one is for home. Like Kelsey, hey Kelsey, or Amy, can I borrow a pen? Make sure it's my home pen. Make sure it's that home one. It can't be my work one.
Exactly. So so for those of you who are waiting last minute to do your taxes, I think I've given you some great little tidbits. So make sure to claim those highlighters.
Oh my god.
Yes. And then now let's get into the TurboTax conspiracy. Ooh, this is where Amy will put in dun dun dun.
If I can find that.
Yeah.
Have you ever used TurboTax?
Yes.
Is that what your dad uses?
Yes. So I used it for my American taxes the first time, and then the second time they wouldn't leave me alone. They also sent me like thousands of emails.
Oh, I still get emails from TurboTax all the time being like, you need to log in to file your W-2, and I'm like, joke's on you, I don't have one of those.
Yeah. And then my dad does it for his business. And I'm like, why do you use TurboTax? It's just easy for him. So I did a little digging. I patrolled Reddit. Now that I do that when I need content, because this big brain is running out. But
big YouTubers use Reddit for content. Why can't we?
Exactly. So this Reddit user says, if you're filing your taxes with TurboTax and it says you have to pay to file, don't do it. Just complete the full process, and on the very last page, there's a link to click to review all the documents just before you submit. That shows you each form completely filled out with all the correct information. Now with that open, you want to go to the IRS website and use one of their linked sites. Find each form that is on the TurboTax review page you have open and match all of the fields. Then submit with the other site and exit TurboTax. You can now file your taxes for free.
Life hack.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that good?
Wow.
then so I was searching more because I'm really mad. I saw a TikTok that was talking about TurboTax and the conspiracies of TurboTax, and I forgot to save it. And of course, TikTok is one of the hardest things to search.
Yeah.
Like I tried to find this video of this girl singing driver's license, but in like Carl from Jimmy Neutron voice, and that took me a while to find. It's a good video.
I see why you didn't give up your search for it.
Yeah. But I found this Vox article on why I'm boycotting. Why am I boycotting TurboTax this year? It's an evil parasite that only makes your taxes more complicated. So this is by Dylan Matthews.
I see this person has very intense feelings towards TurboTax.
Oh, absolutely. So it starts with, it's tax season again. You're probably thinking about using TurboTax, and you wouldn't be alone in it. Or is it Intuit? Intuit?
You wouldn't be alone in that?
Yeah, I don't know the name. I don't know. The company that sells TurboTax claimed in 2016 that the app has 31 million users. Its competitors do pretty well for themselves too, with H&R Block preparing 20 million returns last cycle and millions more using Tax and Tax Slayer. But let me be blunt: you should not pay for TurboTax. And then it goes on like other versions you see you, and then they go, TurboTax is an evil parasitic product that exists entirely because taxes are confusing and hard to file. Worse than that, Intuit is one of the loudest voices on Capitol Hill arguing against measures that make it easier to pay taxes.
Yep.
Years ago, the Obama administration proposed a system of automatic tax filing in which the IRS uses income information it already has to fill out your tax return for you. That would save millions of Americans considerable time and energy every year. But the idea has gone nowhere. The main reasons? Lobbying from Intuit and H&R Block. And it's like, it goes into more, like, don't give them your money. Because the fact is, too, we shouldn't have to do all the work when the government already has all of this information.
Yeah, there is zero reason to do any of, like, we shouldn't have to pay for it. No, like, H&R Block, especially in Canada, I've heard is terrible. And they always try to, like, come after students because they always advertise, oh, like, if you're a student, file your taxes for, like, $20. But then when you read the fine print, that's only if your taxes are, like, simple and easy to file, which they can be. But, you know, sometimes, like, things come up and you don't even realize that.
No, because I had a roommate in college who was like, I'm going to go to H&R Block to do my taxes. She's like, they said it was only $50, but then it ended up they wanted $200, and her return was $150.
Yep.
And then she's like, suddenly it's now $200, but they've already done them.
Yep.
And now suddenly the price has changed.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it's stupid because countries like Denmark, Sweden, and Spain already offer pre-populated returns to their citizens. And, like, you don't have to file your income tax because they already know. Like, it's the whole act of filing your taxes is really stupid. And I understand it's obviously, like, if we're going to blame everything back to big corporations, like, oh, the millennials are blaming the big corporations, but it's true.
No, it's very, very true, and like it just sucks because there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And again, like most young people our age work 2 jobs, so when it does come to file taxes, they get fucked over. Or like even now that I've learned from Trevor and our roommates and other people, if you stream on Twitch as a Canadian, your tax return or your T4 from Twitch won't come till the end of April most of the time because Americans don't have to file till later. Am I correct in that? I think that's what it is.
No, but the American tax day is the 15th of April, so that doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe I'll just cut that out. It's fine. I thought it was later. Because wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Monday, May 17th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm not cutting that out anymore.
Okay. gonna do. Originally, this episode I thought was gonna come out on the 15th because somewhere else posted that's when taxes are due.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
so I don't know.
You're all
Then
backwards with your taxes this year.
I've had different countries. It's fine. My taxes are like long done.
Yes.
My
yeah,
dad
same.
is literally like the T4s won't even be. They'll be like piping hot and like just coming out, and he'll be like, "Where are your T4s? Send me your tax stuff.
Give it to me.
Give it to me now." And I'm like, "Dad, it's they've just come out. Send me your tax stuff."
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that's the thing that sucks about people who stream on Twitch, and then because I've been streaming more and like following more like Canadian and like other Twitch streamers, and they're like streaming as a Canadian. The forums apparently are not easy. I personally don't know because I have like 45 people who follow me, so I don't qualify for anything. But yeah, apparently it can take them like the whole month of April to get their tax form to them, and then you have to wait till last minute to file your taxes. Right?
Which is super frustrating because most people who are using Twitch aren't like your millionaires, like Ludwig. You are literally like a lot of people I know streaming do it as like a kind of like a side hustle, like it's a passion project, but they still also have other jobs, and it's like cool, I have to get all my taxes in.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's depending on how revenue and stuff works. It's not even like that much money, especially like if you started later or you don't do it that much. Again, like it's a passion project, you can't spend a lot of time doing it. You're waiting for like a T4 that has like maybe $200 on it, and you have to sit and wait for that, and it could come late, and I'm pretty sure if your taxes are late you get dinged. Maybe that could also be
I think so.
Yeah, it depends on how late they are.
Oh, I think you get dinged if your taxes are late. If you don't,
sorry, that's what it was. Yeah.
If you don't owe, there's no penalties that I believe. But if you do owe and your taxes are late, you do get dinged.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So again, like if that $200 makes you owe money, you get fucked over, which sucks. But
it does. And I think it's like really, really shitty. I understand it is a platform that is allowing you to monetize your content, which is great. And as someone who wants to look more into the YouTube,
oh yes, how you do, fellow kids, the YouTubes.
No, like the YouTube partner program, and a lot of these digital media where you can monetize things. Like I don't even want to know how like some influencers end up doing their taxes, and there's a whole side of influencers writing off the weirdest things because it's technically a business expense.
Yeah, they can do that. Well, and like in the States, I guess now that we're just talking about different things, like they have the TikTok Creator Fund. We don't have that in Canada. I was listening to a podcast, and it was by like Philip DeFranco, and he had on I think it's like, her name's Call Me Chris, and she's like a massive TikToker, like has over like 1 billion views on the app. She's from Abbotsford.
Oh.
Yeah. She makes all those like videos where it's like raising kids, and the kids have like the tiny little hands.
Yeah, the tiny hands. Yeah, I've seen her, and then there's a famous one from Victoria.
Yes.
Who I think she's a teenager.
Yes. And so we don't have a creator fund in Canada. That is not a thing. So they all run off of brand deals. And I don't even know how the fuck you would file a brand deal tax. Like, how do you claim that as income?
No, there's so many weird things that trying to find, like, with taxes, because I think you have to like claim it yourself as an independent contractor. And for those of listening, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I remember when I did extra work when I worked on like a movie and a TV show, and I got a T4 that was through my agent, like through my extras agent.
Yeah.
Because that one was like, okay, like is the filming studio gonna send me like a T4? My agent was like, no, we send like the T4s through us. So both projects I had worked on that year were on my T4. But if you didn't have an agent, I have no idea how because I know I had to fill out forms every day that I was on set. that like were tax forms.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is a super, super glamorous part about being an extra, filling out
So
tax
fun.
forms every single day. Yeah.
God.
So.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we don't know a lot about taxes. We just file and hope that we get money back. And when we don't get money back, I cry a little bit inside.
Yeah, me too. I absolutely do as well. But thankfully, I mean, I'm still waiting for my tax return. I can buy myself nothing.
Oh, really? You filed your taxes like the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
I filed mine like 2 weeks ago. My tax return dropped like last week.
I still have not got my tax return.
Do you not have like auto into your bank account set up?
I thought I did, so there might be just a check sitting at my parents'
And
house.
that your parents know. When that tax return dropped, I was like, nice. This will pay for an eventual trip I can go on to California to visit my girlfriend. So that's where that's going.
Yeah, I just dropped $100 on a mirror today.
Ah, that mirror. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also did buy myself some ColourPop makeup. So
yeah. But anyways, I think that's where we should wrap this, since we don't have any more tax advice to give other than do your taxes. Don't pay TurboTax a dime.
Don't go to H&R Block.
Yeah, exactly. There are lots of free services you can use and places that will help you out, so you don't have to give these companies any of your hard-earned money.
Yes, and in case this will be coming on the last day of taxes, so I would hope all of you have done them by now. But if you haven't, the free software I mentioned earlier is called simpletax.com or simpletax.ca. One of the two. It's a free website. It'll just log into your CRA account for you. Very simple. It's free, or you can pay what you would like. So it's very simple to use.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, Amy, why don't you give us the outro?
Yes, this is weird because now I can see my face while doing the outro. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to another episode this week. I hope you found our tax talk not too boring, because taxes are such a fun topic.
Yeah, I mean, we had like our pretty faces, so maybe it's like a little distracting other than the boring tax talk.
I mean...
Hey, there's a lot of, if you're looking for accounting help, there's a lot of accountants on OnlyFans.
There's a lot of accountants on OnlyFans who would love to help you out.
Love to help you out, yeah. Anyway, they keep distracting.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can listen to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Anchor, and lots of other places on Anchor. If you want to check out our Anchor website at Can You Take My Shift, you can also listen to us on YouTube. And if this video recording goes well, this video recording will be up on YouTube. If not, I don't know what video recording you're talking about. There's nothing being recorded today. But yes, on YouTube at Can You Take My Shift. You can find us on Instagram at Can You Take My Shift. You can find us on Twitter at CYTMS Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Can You Take My Shift. And then you can follow all our personal social media accounts. I'm at Shelly Amy across Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch too. And then Kelsey is at Kelsey Peets across Twitter and Instagram.
I do have a Twitch. There's nothing on it.
There's nothing on it.
There's nothing on it. I mainly use it to troll you and Trevor in your chats.
Yes, which is fine. You can do that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I think that's everywhere, because we're still trying to get Kelsey her. Kelsey, now you have to get 356 followers. I've gained a couple this week. You gotta just tweet once a day. Once a day.
I did. I angry tweeted at those stupid protesters.
You did, and you got some traction. Yeah. So just gotta.
No, my Oreo tweet got like, I think almost 100 likes, and I was like, this is what it feels like to be famous.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you're making headway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta catch up a little bit now. Sorry, I got an extra couple. I'm not gonna apologize for getting more, because that's great for me. But.
Okay, I'll work on it. Yeah.
But yes. But yeah, that's where you can find us all. That's where you can listen to us all. We appreciate all your support all the time across all the platforms. Thank you so much again for listening to our lovely voices this week. and hopefully seeing our lovely faces on YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTubes. So Kelsey, to wrap this up, can you take my shift?
No, I gotta go stare at myself in my gigantic fucking mirror. That took 3 people to carry out to a car.
Damn, that's a lot. Well, at least now you won't be coming into my room to use my mirror.
No.
That is now my selfie mirror for me to take selfies that people send over.
Absolutely.
All right, until next week.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.